Spanish, one of the most beautiful languages in the world. In this video you will find out if Spanish is a difficult or an easy language to learn, and what you should keep in mind when you start learning it. But first, let's just enjoy how this incredible language sounds. Yeah.
¿Cómo poder no amarte si he de amarte por eso? Si esa es la amarra, ¿cómo poder cortarla? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo? Si hasta mis huesos tienen sed de tus huesos, sed de ti, guirnalda atroz y dulce, sed de ti que en las noches me muerde como un perro.
So in this video we'll be speaking about Spanish and whether it's an easy or difficult language to learn. We'll be covering topics like grammar, pronunciation, how to understand better the fast pace of the Spanish language, and so forth. But first, let me give you 3 reasons why you should start learning Spanish today. Let's go. The Spanish language is just so relevant. It's the official language in 20 different countries. And for example, in the US, it's very often the first choice for a foreign language in schools or as an adult. Based on Google, about 580 million people speak Spanish, and it's 4.85% of the whole population on planet Earth. As you can see, Spanish is on the 4th place in the most spoken languages list. And even though there are minor differences between Spanish and Latin American Spanish, because it's just spoken all over the place, then if you know the Spanish well, then you will understand pretty much everybody else as well. The differences are not that big.
Du sucre?
No,
You speak very good French.
gracias.
So speaking Spanish is just so much more romantic, emotional, and cooler sounding than other foreign languages.
Que van las nubes gitanas, que van las nubes, y como eres guapa y morena.
Plus, the pronunciation is super easy to learn. There are no crazy exceptions like in French. Yes, I'm looking at you, French. Les sanglants longs de violon de l'automne blessent mon cœur d'une langueur monotone. And you can get a hold of it fairly quickly.
Je m'appelle Claude.
Je te flee.
Third, you already know many of the words in Spanish thanks to cognates, which are basically similar looking words, because the Romance languages like Spanish, who come from the same family, have just given so much vocabulary into English as well. Based on different sources, one can say that about 40% of the vocabulary in English actually comes from Romance languages, like French, for example. Basically, you can see it's so easy. So many words actually from the Spanish vocabulary are exactly the same. So just think of English and you will have the words that you need in Spanish. Obviously, it's not the case with all the words, but you get the point. But be aware that there are many false cognates as well. For example, if you go and want to say that you're embarrassed about something, saying estoy embarazada in Spanish, what you're actually saying is that you're pregnant. Don't do that. I've done that in a cafeteria, by the way. Didn't sound so good. What I want to say is that there are many of those false cognates out there as well, so be aware. But just as a general thing to know, Spanish is a super easy language to learn if you already have English in your arsenal. And you seem to have it because you're watching this video.
I would
So next, let's watch 3 things that people usually bring out when they say that Spanish is either easy or difficult to learn. These things are: number 1, pronunciation; number 2, understanding the fast pace of the Spanish language; and 3, grammar. So as I was saying in the beginning of this video, Spanish is a fairly simple language. It doesn't have so many crazy exceptions or letters that you don't even pronunciate, even though they are in the word. Why are they in the word? Yes, I'm looking at you, French, again. Of course, there are some things that you need to keep in mind. For example, the double L becomes a J, like in the word calle, for example. There is a small list of things to know like that, but it's super simple.
Todavía queda batalla por delante, eso está claro, y por eso Bruselas propone dar otro año más de margen para que los países europeos puedan endeudarse sin límites. Para que no haya...
Now, Spanish consistently tops also the fastest spoken languages lists, and as you can see here, it's on the second place, with Japanese, French, Italian, English and German coming after Spanish. It's pretty much scientifically proven that Spanish is one of the fastest spoken languages. So Spanish is just after Japanese the fastest spoken language out there. So it doesn't come as a surprise that so many people say that Spanish sounds incredibly fast. Now obviously you can speak any language super fast.
Well, when I was 12 years old growing up on Long Island, there was a cerebral palsy fair a few blocks away from my house, and they announced that they would donate $2,000 to cerebral palsy.
But if you compare it to how people normally speak a language, and you compare it to slower languages like English or Mandarin, then the difference is pretty staggering. There is actually a very powerful trick that you can use to make the language sound slower.
No! Si. No! Si.
And it might sound like some Jedi mind trick, but it's actually quite well researched that the more you listen to the language, the slower it actually gets, and you perceive the language as being slower. The English language, in comparison to Spanish, is actually more complex in its grammar, and it seems to have one single rule, that it has no rules.
Welcome to Fight Club.
But Spanish is more elegant and beautiful in its grammar, and it makes total sense, like almost always. And yeah, there are also irregular verbs, like in every other language, but you can get a hold of them pretty fast. And the solution that I can recommend you is not to dive into grammar in the beginner level at all. It's actually a very good strategy that successful learners in Speakly are using all the time, and that they are starting to dive into grammar only on the intermediate level, so that they already have the foundation of the language in place. So I hope this video was inspiring for you to start learning Spanish. So download the Speakly app and start learning today. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Bye.